whereof this ring given and received is a token and pledge. And may they ever remain in perfect love and peace together, and live according to thy laws, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Right hand. That's it. Those whom God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
Mike Baldwin and Ken Barlow had both courted Deirdre Langton, but it was Ken who got her to the altar in 1981. Their rivalry didn't stop there, or with Deirdre. Ken and Mike have been conducting a fierce feud over women for more than a decade, and we're going to rerun the story in vintage clips on this video. Welcome to the Coronation Street Collection, a video library featuring the best bits of street history and everyone's favourite characters. In this video, we'll be looking at that Barlow-Baldwin decade. Deirdre chose dependable Ken over flashy Mike. Mike bounced back with a relationship with florist Maggie Dunlop.
Right, get your glad rags on. I'll take you down the Armenian for a kebab.
Not tonight.
Good, help me understand women, will you? I mean, for weeks you've been bending my ear. Why don't you take me out for a meal? Let's go out and eat sometime, shall we? So I say let's go and you say no, not tonight.
I felt like it then, I don't feel like it now.
Oh, come on, for Pete's sake. What's wrong with you? Come
I
on,
just don't feel like it. I don't have to feel like it because you want me to feel like it, do I? I do have a life of my own, you know. Oh, why did this have to happen to me now? Just when I've got the shop and...
Hey, come on.
It couldn't have come at a worse time. It just couldn't.
You know, that was one of the first lessons my old man ever taught me. There's no such thing as a good time. Bad times, no worse times. You just have to make the best of them, that's all. Maggie, look. This baby is going to be our kid, right? And any problems that we come across along the way are going to be our problems. How's it going, Princess?
It's going all right. And you?
I'm fine. It's just that, well, I don't know, we never seem to get a chance to talk together these days.
Could be because we're both such busy people. Or it could be something to do with the fact that I've got a husband and you've got a girlfriend. Cheers. How is she?
Oh, she's fine. Well, no, as a matter of fact, she was a bit off this morning, but she must be all right. She's gone to work. But on the whole, I would say pretty sensational.
Sounds promising.
Yeah, hope so.
Do I get Tracy a bridesmaid frock then?
You could do.
Stop being so flipping enigmatic. Are you and Maggie getting married or what?
Well, I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that there is a distinct possibility.
Blimey, you should have been a politician, you.
Mike, if I wasn't pregnant, would you still have asked me to marry you?
Well, it's immaterial you are, and I had. Does it matter?
It does to me.
Maggie, I want to marry you, and I want this kid.
So what you want? You haven't once asked me what I want.
Well, I thought it was the same as me, isn't it?
No. I don't want to get married, Mike.
What? What do you mean, to me? Or anybody?
Well, I can't answer the last part, but if I ever do get married, it won't be to you.
You think you could have made a go of it, don't you?
Well, with a kid to look forward to, I'd have had a bloody good try. I mean, me, a dad, me. I'm supposed to be the fly one. Not like your Ken, the natural father. Then I forgot. This is the 80s, isn't it? Woman's lib. Men are superfluous. Well, after, anyway.
She could be right, you know, Mike. I mean, a kid is not supposed to be like a tube of glue, just holding two people together.
Still, I bet a kid would keep you and Ken stuck together. Even closer than you are now. Nah, maybe you're right. No, maybe... well, perhaps I was just using the kid as an excuse, eh? I mean, if there hadn't been a kid, we'd have probably split up in the end. Well, that's my track record, isn't it? What sort of future would that have been for the kid, eh? Waiting for its mum and dad to go their separate ways. So, thanks for the advice.
I don't remember giving you any.
Still, I'm very, what's that word, for not being down too long?
Oh, resilient.
Resilient, yeah, I like that. I've always been resilient, up to now. See ya.
Ta-ra, love.
Oh, all right, mate. Oh, there you are. Well, you got lost. Tracy's white with hunger, I must say, mate. What's wrong, then?
looking forward to Christmas, are you?
Ah, yes and no. You?
No and yes.
Well, I don't think I like Christmas at the moment. Maybe it's just the mood I'm in.
Ah, a bit round off, eh?
A bit.
Well, if you ever get too round off, you know where I live, don't you?
Deirdre wanted a good marriage. However, she found Ken hard work. For one thing, he had difficulty in accepting that she and her daughter Tracy had a past life.
Now then, look what the postman's brought. And guess who it's for? Me. Dead right, it's for you.
Aren't you lucky, eh? Nobody ever sends me out.
Oh. Now then, that's from Daddy in Holland. Isn't that nice of him, eh?
It is?
Oh, do you not think so?
Well, I just wish he'd... We'll talk about it later.
Oh, it's a dolly. Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, we'll have to write to Daddy and thank him for that, won't we?
Yes, how did that do with yours at Cantergon? Nobody ever told me out about it.
It went off very well, at least it seemed to.
Yes, it did. Even though my husband was too busy to dance with me all night.
I didn't notice you were short of a partner.
No, I wasn't. My Baldwin was there on his own, so at least I wasn't totally neglected.
It's about Maggie. It seems that rumour has it she's gone and got herself wed. Well, it only happened a couple of days ago. It was a registry office doing, and even Marion didn't know about it till afterwards.
Well, that's a turn up for the book, isn't it? Still, gives us something to drink to. Yeah. Right then, here's to Maggie and,
I don't know the fella's name, but it seems it's that fella that lent her the money to start a new shop.
Him?
Well, Marion says he's much older than she is.
Yeah, he would be. She told me I needn't worry about him, so I didn't.
Were you hoping she'd come back here?
No, it's water under the bridge, isn't it? Well, yeah, I suppose there was in a way. Because of the kid. I mean, she may not have fancied me as a husband, but I could have been a father to the child, couldn't I?
Now, come on, slow coach. I want you bathing in bed before we go out.
We're going out?
Yeah, you know we are. You're taking me to see old Golden Pond. I missed it last time round. Uncle Albert's babysitting.
Aye, if you leave me a bit of supper.
Supper? You've not even had your tea yet, and already you're worrying about your supper, honestly. It's a wonder you're not as fat as Stan Ogden, you.
I don't eat much. Just like a little snack before I go to bed. All that I've had. I go to sleep otherwise. Not that I sleep very much lately as it is.
Yeah, all right, love, I'll leave you something on a tray. Honestly, he does go on, this relation of yours. What's the matter?
Completely forgot about the film, though. Only there's this documentary I especially want to watch on Channel 4.
So?
Well, so we can go out another night.
It finishes tonight. It's the last night.
It'll be on somewhere else.
Ken, I want to go out tonight. I've been looking forward to it. You know, we haven't been out for ages.
Take you out on Saturday.
I take it this means you don't want to go.
Well, like I said, love, I particularly want to watch this programme.
Okay.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing, just... okay. You watch your programme, I'll go to the pictures.
On your own?
Well, it doesn't look as if I've got any choice, does it, Uncle Albert? Now, come on, darling, let's get this lot cleared up. Come on. I've just been to the pictures and I thought...
Which one of my friends can I catch a cup of coffee off?
Well, I don't like going in snack bars on my own, not this time of night, anyway.
Of course not. I did ask you to call, didn't I?
Well, I wasn't sure you meant it.
Of course I meant it. Now, what do you want? Tea, coffee, or something a bit stronger?
You got any wine opened?
Soon open it.
Oh, no, don't worry, I'll have tea.
You will have wine. I'll have a glass myself. Help me relax after a hard night's toil. Well, take your coat off. Sit down.
Messieurs, j'adore ma patrie comme vous.
What did he say just then?
That he loves his country.
He said that to a lot more than that.
Yeah, well, I have to praise it for the subtitles.
You know, I'm surprised you bothered to watch. And I can't understand how you can follow it, all in a foreign language.
Well, that's why they have subtitles. Now, have you finished that?
Aye,
Think you can get back to sleep now?
I might. Then again, I might not. She's not in yet.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Aren't you worried about her? Roaming the streets on her own in the early hours?
Well, it's hardly the early hours, is it? It's not midnight yet.
Well, the pictures have been over hours.
She's gone for a bite to eat and she's spinning it out. It's what's known as teaching your husband a lesson.
Well, can you blame her? You should have gone with her. Every right to be upset.
I like being with you. You're easy to talk to. Yeah, I do feel better, thanks.
Good. That's what friends are for. But for the Baldwin therapy to be really effective, you should really take the full course of treatment.
I'm not even going to ask what that'd involve.
Pity.
Deirdre enjoyed her stolen moments with Mike. He was excited about her. Ken, on the other hand, only ever got excited about one thing, himself.
Planning and coordinating of interlocking functions, staff development, strategy. All there. More than enough to stretch me. Deirdre?
I'm listening.
Leadership, the ability to motivate and communicate.
You reckon you can do all that, do you?
Well,
I mean, you've got the qualifications.
I think so, don't you?
Yeah. It's just that I've never seen you so interested in anything before, apart from politics. I've never seen you so excited about anything.
Well, you've got to have something interesting to get excited about, haven't you? If you see what I mean.
Here.
Oh, no, no more for me. I've had enough.
Oh, come on, there's plenty more where this came from.
Look, I've got to go, actually.
Well, you've only been here 5 minutes. It's not even 9:30 yet.
I said I wouldn't be late.
Deirdre, what are you frightened
I'm not frightened of anything. Look, I told Ken I was going out for an hour just to see a
Yeah, but why
girlfriend.
did you come here?
I came to see you.
Yeah, but why? Oh, come on, darling. This is Mike. I don't ask for miracles. I know. You can't bear to have me out of your thoughts, right? I'm in them day and night. You can't bear to be away from me and all that rubbish. Well, if you want to say that, I can stand it. But I don't think you do. I've a pretty good idea why you came here tonight. I'm not dependable. I'm not reliable. You came here to get away from that. Well, if that's the only reason you got tonight, that's okay. But if you can think of a better reason tomorrow, well, that's even greater.
Hiya, Ken, you're in favour of marriage, aren't you?
Oh, a great institution, yes.
Don't say it, Fred, or I'll crown you.
I never said a word. Doesn't stop me thinking, though. What are you having, Kenneth?
No, nothing, thanks, Eddie. I just want 2 bottles of strong ale to take home with me, please.
Oh, aren't you going to stop and flirt with me?
Sorry, I'm babysitting with Uncle Albert. Deirdre's gone to see a friend.
You enjoying yourself?
Oh, of course I am.
Not nervous anymore?
No, not really. Hey, I tell you what, though, I feel a bit underdressed compared to some of the women here. You see, I couldn't go over the top when I was getting ready, or else Ken might have spotted something was wrong. Although, on second thoughts, I don't suppose he would. You know, I don't think he actually sees me these days. I think he thinks I'm just part of the wallpaper.
He must be mad. I mean, you may not be turned out the way you wanted to be, but as far as I'm concerned, you look absolutely fantastic. But then, you always have done.
Time I was getting back.
Oh, come on, the night's young yet.
Not for me, it isn't. I've had a smashing night, Mike. Thanks.
My pleasure. I suppose I'll be wasting my time suggesting a club.
Well, yes, you are.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we pop back to my flat for the last drink, eh?
I've really got to get back.
Deirdre, I'll ask you a question. You're not regretting tonight, are you?
No. Should I be?
No. In my experience, the things you regret are the things that you don't do. The chances you miss. That's what you regret. My place?
Yeah. All right.
The die was cast. Deirdre had fought her feelings towards Mike for as long as she could, but Ken continued to show absolutely no interest in her as a woman. Unfortunately for Deirdre, her old friend Emily Bishop became suspicious and confronted her.
You know, the things you said at lunchtime about me and Mike. Well, it's true. We have been seeing each other.
Well, I guessed that as soon as you flew off the handle like you did. What I can't see for the life of me is why. I always thought you were so happy with Ken.
I was. I am. Oh, I just don't know anymore.
How long has it been going on?
Me and Mike. Since Christmas. Well, Ken was just so wrapped up in his precious community centre. I don't think he noticed me and Tracy were there half the time.
But it's his job.
It wasn't his job all over Christmas, though, was it? He could have come away with us for a few days. He could have taken us out somewhere. He could have taken me out for a meal or something. But, oh, no. Not Ken. He was always too tired or couldn't be bothered. Just so wrapped up in himself, he couldn't see what it was doing to me.
And Mike could, I suppose.
We are old mates, you know, Emily. And I had to turn to someone.
Oh, I see. When your marriage to Ken gets a bit hard going, you go running off into the arms of another man. That's your solution to the problem, is it?
I had to get out of here, Emily. Honestly, you can't imagine what it was like, just sitting here night after night, watching the telly, listening to Uncle Albert snoring his head off, watching Ken working on his precious papers. Honestly, being married to Ken this last few months has been about as exciting as being hitched to a block of wood. Mike's... well, he's given me something back in my life. I feel as if I can cope now with Ken and Uncle Albert. I don't feel as if the walls are closing in on me anymore. Can you see that?
No, Deirdre, I'm afraid I can't.
But what harm's it doing? I mean, it's not hurting anybody.
What harm is it doing? You embark on a sordid little affair that can devastate the lives of a whole family, and you ask what harm is it doing?
But it needn't be like that. Not if... well, you're the only one who knows about it, aren't you?
And how long do you think that state of affairs is likely to last? I mean, how long before someone else puts two and two together? And how innocent and harmless will it be then, when it gets back to Ken, when it gets back to Tracy? I mean, have you stopped for 1 minute to think of the consequences? No, you haven't. Well, I think it's high time you did, because if you don't, it's going to be too late, believe me.
I'm just beginning to find it all a bit difficult. I'm just beginning to see the deceit of it all.
Oh, you're just having a few misgivings, that's all. I mean, it's only natural, it figures, doesn't it? First the excitement, and then the doubts. But like I said, just keep your cool.
It's not easy.
Deirdre, you're a grown woman. You can make your mind up, right? Make your own decisions.
I could be dreaming this. Am I dreaming it?
Why not?
When I'm here, when I'm with you, everything outside just seems a bit tatty.
Deirdre, you're an elegant woman, class. You're just wasting it, that's all. All right. Some people might sneer and say, oh, they're kidding, but they're just cheapskates, you know.
Some people. Why wrap it up, Mike? Emily said it.
Yeah, well, the world isn't run for Emily Bishop, and it never will be. That world out there, those tight little streets, full of people with tight little minds, it's not the universe.
It's mine, I suppose. Anyway, apart from that, Ken's started looking at me. Not suspiciously, but, well, just like he's remembered I'm a woman.
Deirdre, we're in love. You agree with that, don't you?
Yeah, I think we are.
So we just keep our cool and pick our time.
Please, Deirdre.
Please, what?
Stop it now. It can't have got out of hand, so there's still time. Stop it for her sake, Tracy's if for nothing else. I mean, how many more fathers does she have to lose and acquire?
That's a bit below the belt, Emily.
Well, truth often is.
Leave him.
And then what?
Then you come and live here till we get things sorted out. And then we get married.
Well, fancy that.
I mean it.
I wonder if you hadn't just been handy, if I'd have just got over all this. Whatever it was that went wrong between me and Ken, I mean, women do. They have to.
Now stop it,
It's not even as if I hate him. He hasn't done anything to make me hate him. He's not even capable of that.
Deirdre.
So why don't I just grow up and face up to my responsibilities and stop whining? My husband doesn't understand me. God, it's pathetic.
You're just going around in circles.
Well, that's the way I feel. I just feel as if I'm being pulled all ways. And I never wanted this. I just wanted a happy marriage. I did the first time.
This wasn't the idea. It wasn't the idea at all. The idea was success, achievement, satisfaction, a rounded life. But somewhere on the way, I strayed from the road. You'll never get back on it now.
Can you hear yourself? Can you?
What?
You're pathetic. There is nothing wrong with your life that a little, I don't know, enthusiasm wouldn't put right.
I was enthusiastic about that job, but they turned me down.
All right. So be enthusiastic about the next one you apply for.
Well, what's the point? I was right for that job. Perfect. But I wasn't lucky. I've never been lucky. Just look at my record. One disaster after another. Okay. So that's the way it is. What's the point in trying? Why not just face facts and let the waves roll over me till the last syllable of recorded time?
Not getting that job had nothing to do with luck.
Oh, how would you know?
I just know.
How?
Alf has found out something.
And? Well, come on, why didn't I get it?
You just didn't have enough go about you.
Enough go.
Enough life, enough enthusiasm. That's just the impression that you gave, apparently. Oh, very clever, very intellectual, but...
Boring.
It's as good a word as any.
Oh, yes, it is. It's the in word, isn't it? Anything isn't with it, swinging or trendy. It's boring. I'm boring! And there's just nothing I can do about it, because the great tragedy is that I'm not aware of it. I happen to think I'm a great guy. But apparently I'm wrong. Well, so be it.
And that's it?
That's it.
What about me? What about my life? I don't want a boring life. I don't want to just go through the motions.
But there's nothing wrong with your life. Your life is rounded. You've got a family, a home, a job, and friends. I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's not enough, Ken.
Well, what else do you want? Hmm?
What I've found.
What's that?
Somebody else.
Who?
Mike. Mike Baldwin.
That was before.
It's now.
I take it you've decided to pack your job in as well as me.
I never said I was doing
You
that.
don't need to. Your actions speak louder than words.
Ken.
Presumably, you've got your future life all worked out.
I haven't got anything worked out.
Well, you don't expect to go on living with me, do you? Well, you have an affair with Baldwin on the side? Of course you do. Wouldn't surprise me. You thought about nobody's life but your own. Not mine. Not Tracy's either, just yourself.
It isn't like that.
Well, you could have fooled me.
Do you think I wanted it to happen? Do you think I wanted this? God, you're so bloody stupid.
I want this thing out in the open once and for all. Now tell me, just when did this nasty little affair get underway?
Oh, it has to be nasty.
Of course it has to be nasty, and don't try to pretend it isn't.
Well, maybe it is. I don't really know whether it is or it isn't.
And just how long has it been going on?
Not long. Since about Christmas.
Oh, I see. The season of goodwill to all men, especially Mike Baldwin.
Look, do you want to know about this, or are you just going to sneer and make nasty remarks? Because if that's all
No,
you can...
I want to hear about it.
Well, like I say, it started about Christmas. You and me were rowing about going to my mother's. I mean, that's not really important. I just needed someone to turn to. And he was there. And he talks to me, and he listens too.
Oh, I see. You're seriously claiming that I don't talk to you now, are you?
Well, you don't, Ken. You talk at me. It's like a missionary talking to the natives. Oh, well, very nice and polite, but a million miles above their heads. And if the natives want to have a little jabber, you'll nod and smile, but you're not really taking any notice of what they're saying. Do you know what you do, Ken? You tolerate me. And I wanted to be close to you. And it's just like you're 100 miles away.
You know what you're doing, don't you? Just picking out any excuse you can think of to justify yourself.
I'm not trying to justify it. I'm trying to explain it.
Baldwin, of all people! You decide to have an affair to enliven the tedium of your marriage. And you have to go and pick a little creep like him!
I didn't pick him! I didn't go looking for an affair. I didn't want an affair.
Oh, I see. It was an irresistible impulse. Was it written in the stars? This thing was bigger than both of you.
I hate you when you talk like
What
that.
you hate is the truth! About your sordid little bit on the side with a spiv like Baldwin!
At least he's human. At least he wanted me.
I wanted you!
You never wanted me, Ken, or kids, or anything. It's your pride that's hurt, that's all.
That's not true, I'm afraid. I loved you. I'm the man you married. I'm exactly the same now as I was then, and if that wasn't what you wanted, why did you marry me?
Oh, Ken.
Ignore it.
No.
Why did you put the phone down on me?
It's Ken. He knows. I've told him everything.
Get out
Ken,
of this
please.
house! Shut up! I'm warning you! Get out of this house before I
You
make-
go!
For the first time in their marriage, Ken showed real passion as he fought to hang on to Deirdre. She finally realised that her marriage was a precious thing, too precious to throw away. The couple were reunited, and Mike was left defeated again. But, as always, he bounced back.
We always seem to dance together at weddings, don't we?
Yeah, we do, don't we? How old were you last time?
16. It was when my dad married Deirdre.
Yeah, I remember. You wanted a part-time job and I got you into that wine bar in London.
That's right.
I never found out. I mean, were you happy? Did you like it?
It was great while it lasted.
I don't think it went down too well with your father, though, did it?
You know what dads are like with their kids. Oh, you wouldn't, would you?
Don't worry. She's a sensible girl. I know. You don't have to say it.
Yes, there were two women in Ken's life, his wife and his older daughter. The thought of Susan becoming involved with Mike was torture to him.
It seems like every time I mention your name, he goes mad. He doesn't just dislike you. He hates you. And I don't know why.
You're his daughter. You've just come back into his life and he wants to keep you to himself.
No, it's more than that.
Where is she?
Susan.
Is she back?
Yeah, she's in her room. Ken.
I don't want to talk about it.
Can I ask you a question? And can I have a truthful answer, please? What is it you have against Mike?
He has the kind of reputation that makes him unfit company for my daughter. For anybody's 20-year-old daughter.
I haven't seen any evidence of that. He's kind and he's thoughtful and we think...
He's old enough to be your father.
You're old enough to be Deirdre's father, but it doesn't stop...
I'm not arguing!
Ken!
You will not see him again. Ever. Is that clear?
It's clear what you want, but not why. That isn't clear.
I did hope she'd see sense, especially after everything I'd said, but... Well, obviously, that's not going to happen.
What are you going to do?
Well, there's only one thing I can do. To make her understand that this whole thing is out of the question. Tell her the truth. I want you to stop seeing him. Susan.
No!
He's no good.
He isn't no good. I love him. And he loves me.
He said he loved Deirdre once.
Pardon?
He had an affair with her.
What, before you...
About 3 years ago.
Mike and Deirdre?
He tried to take her from me. And he nearly did. All in the name of what he calls love. A word that springs to his lips as easily as his smile. It's not what I call love, Susan. That's the man I want you to stop seeing.
But why are you blaming Mike? What about Deirdre?
I'm not discussing Deirdre, I'm talking about Mike Baldwin. He tried to take my wife, he didn't manage it, so now he wants my daughter. Please, Susan, stop seeing him. You must, surely, now you know what sort of a man he is. He tried to wreck our marriage. Like he'll wreck your life.
Listen, I love you.
Really? You're not just saying that to get back at my dad for what happened between you and Deirdre?
Oh, come on, don't twist the knife.
I've got to be sure.
Listen, darling, I've been kicked in the teeth quite a few times, but never like this. You know what you are, don't you? You're the last person in the world I should have fallen in love with. I must have been crazy. I know what they're going to say out there, and I know what Ken and Deirdre are going to think. Then I have to sit here and listen to you having a go at me. And you're all wrong. I mean, if I'd have known what was going to happen, I wouldn't have come within a million miles of you. But I didn't. I know now. I know I love you, and I know it's a great feeling. No one's going to take that from me.
I've had enough of your poison in my family, more than enough.
Look.
Despite Ken's violent objections to the match, Susan and Mike began to plan their wedding.
If you want a quiet wedding, that's okay by me.
What changed your mind?
It's no big deal, is it? I mean, they're expensive. And they're old-fashioned. All them frills and pomp. I mean, who needs it?
You know, you're a terrible liar, aren't you?
No, I mean it. Honest, I do.
Oh, well, that's tough because I've changed my mind. I want a big wedding.
You?
Me.
Why have you changed your mind?
I just have. Anyway, it's only once in a lifetime, isn't it? Hopefully.
Definitely.
Right, well, go the whole hog. Hire the town hall, not to mention a gypsy band. Mind you, I mean, if you're not so keen on the idea, then...
Oh, I am. As if you are.
I am.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Do you know the real reason why I want a proper wedding? It's not to show off. It's to show everybody that we really mean it. That it isn't just some sordid affair. Do you understand?
Well, I don't see there's any harm in showing off now and then, but, well, I do understand.
Especially my dad. He might even have to admit he was wrong.
Don't expect too much, darling.
If I'd never clapped eyes on Baldwin until Susan started going out with him, he's still the last man on earth I'd want as a son-in-law. He's everything I detest. Unprincipled, superficial, materialistic, flashy, a manipulator.
Help me, Deirdre.
I've always tried to.
Oh, no. Oh, I've been a bitch. I mean, at first I suppose I was jealous. It was one thing knowing about other women, but... well, you, of all people. But I've got to learn to live with it. I don't want to lose you as well.
You won't.
Hello, Dad.
Well, I promised I'd pop into Emily's. I'll bring Tracy back in about half an hour.
No, don't go, please. Dad, Deirdre's told you about Mike and me. Well?
What do you want me to say, Susan?
That you understand that we love each other. That it's not an infatuation. That you want me to be happy.
Well, of course I want you to be happy, damn it. It's all I've ever wanted for you. Why do you think I'm so dead set against this liaison?
It's not a liaison. We're getting married, for heaven's sake. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Only that you're completely under his influence. Stand back and look at what you're getting yourself into, love, for God's sake. I mean, look at the man before it's too late.
Ken.
I'm not here to argue the toss. I'm marrying him, whatever happens.
You're over 18. If you want to throw your life away, I can't stop you.
Dad, will you please try and meet me? For all our sakes. I don't want it to be like this. I want you and Deirdre to be at my wedding, and I want Tracy for my bridesmaid, and I want you to walk me down the aisle. You're my family. You're all I've got.
Do you really think I could agree to that?
You would if you loved me.
It's because I love you, Susan, that I can't have anything to do with this travesty. God help me, but I can't.
Nearly all my life I haven't had a father. Not like other kids. Nobody to help me with my homework, or to cheer me on at sports day, or just to give me a piggyback if I fell out of a tree. But I always believed that he'd be there to walk me down the aisle on my wedding day.
Dad. Did you ever wonder how much Sue and I miss living a normal family life?
Well, I know how much I missed having you.
Do you? Sorry, it doesn't show. I was 6 years old when I left here. You packed the pair of us off to Glasgow.
I didn't pack you off
You
anywhere.
packed the pair of us off to Glasgow to live with our grandparents because you couldn't face responsibility of bringing us up yourself. And I'm not saying anything against Grandma and Grandad, because we were warm and we were well fed and we were cared for. But I'm 21 years old. And for 15 of those years, I haven't known a mother or a father. Now, I couldn't have a mother. But I could have had you. And instead, what happens? All right, once in a blue moon, when you can spare us a couple of days, you'd come and see us. And then you'd come back and you'd forget us.
I didn't forget you.
But for all Susie and I knew you did. And I can't count the number of times that I wanted you there. I needed you, Dad, for advice, you know, for support, for a good ticking off every now and then. And I think that Susie needed you more than I did. And she needs you now.
I don't want her to marry that man.
Yeah, I gathered that. Lord knows why. I don't know what you've got against him, and Susie won't tell me, but whatever it is, it's not worth what you're doing to her. You know what I thought? You know, stupid kid that I am, I thought that seeing as you'd done so little for us, and seeing as you had cut us out of your life for 15 years, given the chance to be a real father, and that's just one chance, you jump at it.
Ken was deeply moved by his son Peter's words. Despite his fierce hatred for Mike, could he stand by and risk losing the love of his daughter?
thirdly, it was ordained for the mutual society, help and comfort that the one ought to have of the other, both in prosperity and adversity. Into which holy estate those two persons present come now to be joined. Therefore, if any man can show any just cause why they may not lawfully be joined together, let him now speak, or else hereafter forever hold his peace.
Excuse me a minute. I just wanted to thank you for coming.
I came for Susan's sake.
I realise that, but thanks all the same.
I've lost her.
You haven't lost her. You've made her happy. That's not losing her.
But it was now up to Mike to make Susan happy.
This is not our home, it's just a place to kip. What we want is a house with a garden and a couple of kids running in and out of it.
We always come back to it, don't we? We always come back to your master plan to get me breeding. It's not the way I see it, Mike.
Oh, we're just going round in circles. We're just wasting time. It's time we talk straight.
What do you mean?
We could have a happy marriage. We could have a great marriage if we had a family. But if that's not what you want, well, we might as well call it quits right now. I mean, without kids, what's the good of us being married anyway?
Marriage isn't just about children. It's not the be-all and end-all.
As far as I'm concerned, it is. Your ideas of marriage are no good for me. For me, it's about kids. Why? In God's name, why?
I had to. I had no choice.
You keep saying that.
It's the truth.
You did have a choice. You could have kept it.
I couldn't have kept it.
But it wasn't only yours to get rid of. It was mine as well. I was the father.
It was my decision.
It was not your decision. It was mine as well. And one I'd never have agreed to. Never in a million years.
I knew you wouldn't.
Then why did you do it?
I had to.
Oh, for Christ's sake, is that all you can say? Well, is it the thought of living with me, bringing a baby up with me? Is that it?
No, it's not personal.
Not personal? You just killed my kid. How can it not be personal?
It just isn't.
Well, what is it then? It's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing that makes sense. Well, to a normal person, anyway.
I'm not insane, Mike.
Well, it was a bloody insane thing you did. Oh, you had everything going for you. And the kid. Oh, I would have worshipped that kid. Would have had a lovely house. Money, no object. You either. And then you had to go and destroy it. Like some sort of vandal. I don't understand.
Will you listen to me?
Listen to you? When all you can say is you had to do it, you bloody well didn't have to do it. It was criminal. You murdered my kid.
It was my child. I was having it.
I was the father.
Oh, yeah, you were the father, all right, because Mike Baldwin had decided to settle down and raise a family. What a transformation.
What do you mean, transformation?
What about all those years when you never wanted children? You never gave it a second thought. All those years birded it, when women were just a big joke, somebody to have a laugh and a giggle with, somebody to score with. That's what you called it, isn't it, Mike? Scoring. You treated women like dirt. And then suddenly it's the breeding season. I told you once before, Mike, I'm not a brood mare.
Sue, nobody wanted you to be a brood mare. I just wanted a family, which is natural and healthy. And as for birding it, scoring it, as you put it, well, it takes two to score. And I don't remember any complaints from the other parties. Well, where are you going?
There's no point, is there?
You could just walk out after killing my kid. You're not leaving here until you tell me why you did it.
I did it because me, Susan Baldwin, had no choice.
Oh, there you go again. Put another record on.
Listen to me. I married you because I loved you. I was crazy about you. But I'll be honest, I never thought of marriage as settling down, having a family. I thought I was marrying somebody who'd make my life more exciting, more interesting, who'd enrich it. You'd made it, you'd done something with your life. I hoped you could help me do the same. I didn't realise that that was the last thought on your mind, and you never told me.
We went all through that, you know. All through that about you wanting a career. I gave you every chance. Every chance. I even staked you, and it was you said we'd have a go at having a kid. You said it.
I know. I shouldn't have.
You promised me.
The minute I knew I was pregnant, I knew I'd made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, well, it was too bloody late then.
No, it wasn't too late. I'd made a mistake. But I didn't have to go on with it feeling bitter and frustrated. What sort of a mother would I have been? What sort of a wife? What sort of a human being? Surely women are just as entitled to be reasonably happy as men. It's not our fault we're the ones who get pregnant. But if being pregnant isn't what we want, if it's going to ruin our lives, then we've got the right not to go on with it. And that's why I had no choice. If I was to be honest with myself and the baby and with you. And as far as you're concerned, I just hoped you might understand just a bit.
When you killed my baby, you killed our marriage.
Sadly, Mike and Susan were divorced. Some years later, with Deirdre working on the council, Ken felt neglected. He wanted someone to take an interest in him, and so he turned to his secretary, Wendy Crozier.
You're exhausted, aren't you?
It's been a long day. I've been up since 4.
There should be a law against travelling in the middle of the night.
There should be.
Come on, I'll take you home.
Oh, you don't need to. I can get a taxi.
I'll take you home.
Ken, is there somebody else?
What brought this on? This is Baldwin's doing, isn't it? You've actually been listening to his nasty little innuendos. Well, damn it, Deirdre, how can you, of all people, believe anything that man says?
Not just him, Ken.
No, but he put the idea in, didn't he? All this business about me not being in the office. Well, the recorder is wherever I happen to be, Deirdre. I don't run it from the office, I run it from here. Now, come on, all this, what this boils down to is just a few snide remarks on Baldwin. But I'll tell you what really hurts is he obviously preferred to believe him rather than me.
Sorry, Ken, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
This is lovely.
Yeah, really lovely.
I shan't make it easy for you.
What?
To go home.
Ah. It has to be done now, I'm afraid. It's Tracy.
Ah. Tracy.
Yep, says so in all the books. Kids, Christmas. You gotta be there.
And you'll always do things by the book, won't you, Ken?
What a day.
It was a long day.
Oh, you can say that again. Tracy in bed?
Yeah. She was hoping you'd be back.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm sorry. I intended to, I really did, but I just couldn't tear myself away. You know how it is. Tree looks nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, hell of a day. Do you feel like a drink?
No.
Everything all right?
I want to know where you've been and who with.
Oh.
Is it revenge? For me and Mike?
Of course not.
Is it serious? Answer me, Ken. Is it serious? I see.
Honestly, Deirdre, I've been wanting to talk about it.
Oh, why didn't you?
Well, I just wanted to get Christmas out of the way first.
Oh, very restrained.
Look, I just can't believe that it's happened. I really can't. Oh, Christ, love. Look, the last thing in the world I want to do is hurt you. You've got to believe that.
Wendy Crozier. Am I right?
Yes.
Tree lights seem okay this year. Right, I'm off to bed. Good night. Oh, by the way, I don't care where you sleep, but it's not in my bed.
Ken was stunned by Deirdre's reaction to his affair. After all, 7 years earlier, he had fought to save their marriage. But then again, Deirdre had been willing to give Mike up.
I can't just leave Wendy at the moment. It's all too involved. But give me time and I'll sort it out.
Wait while you get it out of your system.
Well, one way of putting it.
While you've got your wife and daughter here and a nice warm body round the corner.
Which I suppose is not that different from you and Baldwin.
God! 7 years! Do you realise you've been holding that over me for 7 years?
Yeah, well, the pain lasts, Deirdre. It doesn't just vanish.
And you wonder why I close up? We're supposed to be talking about you and Wendy Crozier.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you to remember how I fought for you when you were in a similar position. And what I'm saying is if you can't fight for me, then at least wait for me.
No!
So what are you saying? I'm not worth waiting for?
What I am saying is, Ken, if you think I'm going to cook your meals and iron your shirts while you're at it with your secretary or whatever the hell you want to call her, then you're arrogant, self-satisfied, and totally thick.
Deirdre's found out.
You told her?
She worked it out.
Not difficult, I suppose.
Suppose not, no.
Imagine she's fairly devastated.
Yeah.
Poor Deirdre. Still, at least it's out in the open.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course it is. Don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
You've been with her, haven't you?
Yes.
Of course you have. Well, what have you decided?
Decided?
About what's been happening. Oh, don't tell me you and Wendy have spent most of the day together and not discussed it.
She's as confused about the situation as I am.
I'm not talking about her.
Deirdre, it's not easy. These things take time.
I've already given you more than enough time. I told you earlier, Ken, no sharing. It's her or me. Right. If you haven't got the guts to make a decision, I'll make one for you. I want you out. What? Just pack your bags and go.
Now?
Yes.
Deirdre, you're being selfish.
Me selfish?
Yes, have you thought about Tracy? Force me out and she's going to ask why.
Tracy already knows everything there is to know about you and that Crozier woman.
What? You've told her?
I didn't have to. She worked it out for herself. So just get out, will you? Go!
You and Ken splitting up, has it got anything to do with what happened? You know, between you and me?
No, it's got absolutely nothing to do with that. Ken's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'll be honest, I couldn't give a damn what happens to Ken. I always thought you were wasted on him anyway. But I'm genuinely concerned that you're hurt. If I can do anything, I will. No strings, nothing up your sleeve. If you want anything, just say, okay?
Sort of things I might need. You might not be able to give me. I doubt if anybody could.
Just bear it in mind, all right? There was one other thing I wanted to say. Well, it's a bit of advice, really. Get yourself a good solicitor. Now, I know a bloke...
No, it's all right. I've already got somebody.
Oh, have you? Because when Ken finds out that leaving home costs money, he'll... Oh, this girlfriend, has she got any?
No, I don't think so. No, in fact, I'm sure she hasn't.
Yeah. Well, when he finds that running 2 homes costs a bomb, he'll try and economise. On you and Tracy, if you let him.
I don't think Ken would do that.
Well, you didn't think he'd ever shack up with another woman. And he has.
And I ought to be shot because I have no faith.
Good afternoon. Workers of the world unite, eh? Oh, my mistake. You're not glued together.
I better go.
No, please don't. I mean, we don't want Ken falling to pieces, do we? He'll stay and hold his hand, if you like.
Deirdre, cool it, please.
I'm cool, Ken. I'm sober, I'm cool, and I'm in my right mind. So if you and Miss Piggy here will pin your ears back, I've got a few things to tell you.
If you must.
There's the emotional perspective to these antics of yours, Ken, and we've all had a right good wallow in them. But there's also the economics. And a bust-up marriage means a financial sort-out.
I'm aware of that. No way am I going to dodge my liabilities.
Oh, I'd hope you're aware of just what they are. The house was paid for, right? You remortgaged it to buy this paper. I've been advised that as half the house belongs to me, so does half the recorder. And that means half its profits and half its income.
Deirdre, this is all pointless. I'll be paying your bills.
Well, that's not good enough. Paying a few damn bills. I've taken advice, Ken. This is going to cost you. And it won't be coppers.
But don't you see? The only way I can earn money at the moment is by making the recorder better and stronger. What's so bad about maintenance?
It's precisely because the recorder's not a stable source. I don't want to be waiting round to see what your advertising revenue's like every week, to see if me and Tracy have got enough to live on. Our lives have been messed about enough.
And that's the price I've got to pay.
I just want the house.
Knowing precisely how much I have to sacrifice to provide it. Tracy! Oh, love. Oh, I've missed you. I really have missed you. Oh,
Are you stopping, Dad?
No, he's not, love.
I can't make this easy.
You.
Tracy,
I hate
please,
you. I hate
please.
you. You hate me.
No, that's not
yes,
true,
you
Tracy.
Do.
I love you.
You don't live here anymore.
Tracy,
you want
please,
to live
listen
with
to
us,
me.
So why don't you just get lost and leave us alone?
Tracy!
Thinks he's clever, him. Yeah, clever enough to leave his wife and his child. That's how clever he is.
I beg your pardon.
You heard.
Oh, you've got to say to me now. Come on.
Anyone serving here? You're monopolising the place.
Don't you start.
I'll start any time I like where you're concerned.
No, just keep
sunshine.
out of there. Just
Look,
keep
you
out.
sold him a lot of junk.
You're really enjoying this, aren't you?
Hey, as a matter of fact, I am.
Hey,
Bastard!
Not this bloody one. Come here, you. Come here. Leave it out. All right, just leave it. All right. I never started it, did I?
No, I'll vouch for that.
Started it. You started everything.
All right, come on. Come on. Leave it, you.
Ken had to begin again. Deirdre didn't want him, and eventually Wendy didn't want him either. He took a job as a teacher and began a fresh relationship with, of all people, Mike's old flame, Alma Sedgwick.
Would you still go back to Deirdre if she'd have you?
She wouldn't have me. It's too late for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, having said all that, you've got to accept a lot of what's happened to you. I mean, you don't have much choice.
Nope.
Would you go back to Mike if he asked you?
You don't like Mike, do you?
No. But then, who am I to criticise?
You know, I really loved him, you know. Oh, I know he was his sod, but when we got together, I really thought we'd made the right match. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's a drink, I shouldn't. Oh, I'm sorry, I really am sorry.
No, it's all right, it's all right, it's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, no, just let it go, just let it go, let it go. I understand.
Who is it?
It's me, Ken.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I get you out of the bath?
No, I was just getting in, as a matter of fact, and it's not a bath, it's
So
a shower.
I can see I've come at an awkward time.
No, the only awkward thing is my shower. It's a bit on the small side. It's definitely standing room only.
Right, well, I just came round on an impulse. I know we hadn't arranged anything, but...
You just couldn't keep away.
That's about it.
Well, my only plans for tonight are to get rid of the lingering fragrance of old ships. I mean, it's an occupational hazard, you know, running a cafe.
Well, in the classroom, it's chalk.
Well, any plans you've got are all right with me. Look, I'll tell you what, let's go up to the flat and discuss it. And if you feel like making a couple of gins and tonics while I'm in the shower, then I'll only be 5 minutes, right?
I reckon we get those drinks made in well under 5 minutes.
Oh, you see? Chalk and chips. It's chalk and cheese that you're not supposed to mix, isn't it? Come on.
Back here permanently, are we?
Who knows what's permanent in this life? Back for the foreseeable future, put it like that. I'm sure my friends will miss me.
Well, I don't think Alma's missed you. She's got a new boyfriend now, you know.
Not surprised. Very attractive lady.
Well, her and Ken seem to suit each other. Ken Barlow. Mind you, they've both had a lot to contend with.
Mike had always treated Alma badly, but he was determined that no man, especially Ken Barlow, was going to step into his shoes.
So I'll tell you what I do. I'll take you and buy you a drink instead.
Sorry, I've got other plans for tonight.
Anyone I know?
How do I know who you know?
Another time, then, eh? I'll get someone to work on that roof.
Thanks.
Mind you, you could always take a rain check.
A rain check?
The drink. I could always pop back later in case he doesn't show.
No.
Just a thought. Knowing how unreliable these blokes can be.
Oh, this bloke is very reliable. I've really enjoyed tonight, despite being in my 47th year. There, you see, I've said it without screaming.
You know, you don't look anywhere near 47.
I look younger to you, and you look younger to me.
Sounds like a song.
Unless we're both very good liars, or else we both need glasses.
I mean it.
Well, so do I. You're very well preserved, you know, Kenneth Barlow.
Thank you. But I think I'm about to prove it's all an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, time I was going, heavy day tomorrow.
Well, we've still got that bottle of wine to finish. And it's not as if you were driving.
Haven't got a car.
No, and even if you did have a car, and even if it was parked outside, you wouldn't be driving tonight, would you?
No.
Good, well, I'm glad we've got that out of the way, because it always gets in the way of a good natter. Wondering whether you're going to go to bed together or not.
The scene was now set for a showdown at the Rover's return.
You look very smart tonight, Alma. Can I buy you or your friend a drink?
No, thank you. We're not stopping.
Oh, well, don't let us drive you off. We've got plans ourselves, haven't we, dear?
Okay, let's go. I don't need this.
We're going out for a meal. Why don't you join us? We'd make a good foursome. Lots in common.
Surprised at you, Deirdre, letting yourself be used like this.
Look, we'd love to stop and chat, but if we don't go now, we'll miss the film.
Oh, going to sit in the back row, are we?
Right, that's it. I've had enough.
Deirdre? Deirdre?
Oh dear, I hope we haven't spoiled their evening.
Where's Mike off to?
Hey, he's gone out into the cold all alone, Ali.
He hasn't paid for these drinks.
I'll be with you in a minute, all right?
No, we won't. You can go. Just go.
You stay there. I'll soon get this sorted out. But Deirdre, look, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
Oh, don't give me that, Mike. Nothing came over you. You set this up.
Oh, come on. Give me a bit of credit.
I've been giving you credit all day, Mike. All day. I've had people coming up to me and saying, oh, my Baldwin, you don't want to go out with him. And I've been saying, well, yes, I do want to go out with him, actually, because he makes me laugh and he knows how to have a good time, and I actually think he likes me. Oh, hilarious, isn't it? I thought you liked me. I thought we were friends. I thought you might want to talk to me. What an idiot.
Of course I want to talk to you.
I don't care what you want, Mike. I just want to be left alone.
No, you don't. Now, come on, let me take you for that meal. That's the least I can do.
I'd rather starve than eat at the same table as a weasel like you.
Oh, Deirdre. Deirdre! Deirdre!
It's your cab. Don't mind if we take it, I suppose.
Be my guest.
Down, but not out, Mike played his ace card at Christmas 1991.
Tracy, have you got a minute? How many teas in carburet?
2.
Thought so. One of Kevin's estimates. Looks like Rosie's done it. Straight up. I mean, you look at that. Listen, sit down. Do me a favour. Just read it through for me, will you?
No. That's it, carburettor. Rest okay.
Thought so. Education, it's a wonderful thing. Shame I didn't have one.
You don't mean that.
But education? Don't quote me. But I wish your dad had taught me.
My dad?
I said, don't quote me.
Well, you're richer than my dad and he went to university.
It's more the wealth of money. Your dad's better off than me. He's got you. And then there's your mum.
Oh, come off it. You know they're getting a divorce.
Getting, not got. Not yet, anyway.
Well, they won't change their minds.
Maybe not, but I mean, how do you feel? I mean, what do you want?
Well, it's not a question of what I want, is it?
Why not? You love them both enough to know that they're making a big mistake. Now, you sit them down at Christmas and you tell them.
Christmas?
Yeah, good time. They listen, believe you me.
My dad's not coming at Christmas.
So, make it happen. You miss this moment and it's curtains for all three of you. You're not a kid anymore. You're an adult, capable of making a few decisions of your own. If you want them together this Christmas, you fix it.
Listen, I'm going. Are you coming?
Yeah. Why are you saying all this?
I don't know. Probably mellowing in me old age. Besides, you did me a favour.
I'll see you.
Yeah, oh, and remember what I said. Don't quote me.
I won't.
With Ken safely out of the way, Mike moved in for the kill.
Just when I thought I'd sorted everything out in my life. I mean, just when I thought I got over everything.
Do you want me to go?
No, I told myself, no more complications. Going to enjoy Christmas, and I was going to go away with Ken.
All you got to do is say so.
And then what happens? You come in here and give me all this about still loving me.
Because it's true.
It might be true. Doesn't mean I want to hear it.
Well, why not? Why not? What's so terrible about hearing that I still love you? It's me it should be terrible for. You no need to listen to this. You could tell me to get out. Oh, go on. Tell me.
Get out.
Hey?
Get out.
Is that what you really want?
Yes, that's what I really want. Because I can't stand any more of this. Oh, you're right. Yes, of course you're right. Of course I still love you. I've tried not to. My God, I've tried not to, but I do. I still do.
Oh, Elma. Come here.
Oh, Mike.
Look, about Christmas, I did it for Tracy, not Deirdre. What have I said? What is it?
Nothing.
Look, believe me, honestly, I'd rather spend Christmas with you.
Oh, if only you had. I wish you had, you know, I really do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, why don't we just forget about Christmas?
I can't.
You must. Nothing happened between me and Deirdre. Scout's honour.
It's not your Christmas I'm talking about, it's mine. Mike came round.
I don't believe it. You didn't invite him?
No, of course I didn't ask him. He just came round.
Blasted nerve. That he knew where I was.
I hate him, Ken. I really hate him.
What happened?
I'm sorry. Just please forgive me.
You went to bed with him. Why?
I don't know. I just felt vulnerable, that's all. I suppose it's because I was on my own.
Oh, so that's my fault.
Look, no, look, I'm not blaming you. Look, where are you going?
Just want a few minutes on my own. Before I do or say something I might regret later. I think I'm entitled to that, don't you?
Of course you are, but just please forgive me.
I mean, I am what I am. A devious sort of bloke, yeah. Admit that. I tell lies. But not about the way I feel about you. That is God's honest truth. So does it matter if I lie about other little things? I mean, the point is that nobody, but nobody, cares about you the way I care about you. I thought I'd prove that to you today.
Yeah, you have.
Well, I ask you again, then why don't you marry me? I mean, I'm not short of a few
All
bob
right.
and everything. Yeah, hang on, what did you say? Hey, did you say all right? Does that mean yes? Hey.
Yes. Is that enough?
That is fantastic. It is terrific. You'll never regret this,
I
you know.
will.
Are you sure you're doing the right thing?
I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm just sleepwalking.
I mean, I'd hate to think it had anything to do with what happened between us.
Oh, no, Ken. This was always going to happen. Don't know what's going to happen next, but this was always going to happen. Audrey thinks I should just go straight to the registry office and then say no.
Is that what you're going to do?
What do you think I should do?
I think whatever you do, it'll be the right thing.
Well, I suppose there's always the first time for everything. Goodbye, Ken.
I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Michael Vernon Baldwin, take thee, Alma Marie Sedgwick, to be my lawful wedded wife.
And now, Alma. I call upon these persons
I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Alma Marie Sedgwick, take thee, Michael Vernon Baldwin, to be my lawful wedded husband.
So Mike had Alma, Deirdre was happy on her own, but Ken was resigning himself to a bleak future. Fate, however, had yet another cruel twist in store.
Mrs. Redmond?
I'm Mrs. Redmond.
Sit down. Well, his marks on his work this term are a little lower than anticipated. You know, given his good showing on his junior school test. And one or two of his teachers report a certain unwillingness to join in, to give of anything. Not that anybody's complained about his behaviour.
It's about what I expected.
Do you know if there's anything bothering him? Does he talk to you?
Not much. Not since we lost Harry.
Harry?
My husband, his father.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Just one of those things. Bit of a shock at the time.
Yes, I know. It's one of those things you never really get over.
No.
And it's obviously had a profound effect on Mark.
Yes. They were very close. Harry was a good father. I can't remember when I last enjoyed an evening out so much. With Harry, I suppose. Sorry, not very tactful.
Don't try to forget it. Certainly not on account of me. Anyway, glad you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it too. You know, you shouldn't feel guilty, Maggie. I'm quite sure he wouldn't expect you to live like a hermit.
No, I'm sure he'd understand. Are they all right?
They're beautiful, thank you.
Do you want me to bring those plants in from outside?
No, I'll do that later, thanks, Tracy. You go and get yourself ready. You've done quite enough for one afternoon.
Hello. Hi. Not getting under your feet, I hope.
Dad? On the contrary, I don't know how I'd manage without her.
You acquired my instinct for hard work, obviously. You're nearly ready now.
I'll just go and get my car.
So, Mark, when are we going to see you in a part-time job, then?
Wouldn't you stop giving me so much homework? Mark! It's true. I never have any time to do anything else.
A few lessons in diplomacy next term might not go amiss.
Well, you'll thank me when the exams come along.
Why? Can you give me some extra marks?
If the work's good, I will, but not unless. And no favouritism in my class. Even if some do show a bit more charm than others.
How's the romance going?
Can't complain.
I thought I saw that faraway look in your eye.
It's not that bad, is it?
How do you get on with the little boy? Is he called Mark?
Yeah, well, better than I did, I must say. I think he's learning to trust me at last.
Oh, good. Did the father die, or did they get divorced? I think you did tell me, but I can't remember which way around it is.
No, he died. About this time last year, that happened.
He must miss him?
Yeah, they were very close. I take my hat off to Mark and Maggie, actually, the way they coped. It seems remarkably well adjusted, considering. His father must have been a good influence on him. A rare commodity these days.
Mark Redman.
Mark? Well, what about him? What's he done?
No, he's... Mark's dad, the one who died, isn't his dad.
Where did he get this?
I was right. I wish I'd never started this now.
Tracy.
Mark's Mike Baldwin's son. Mum came to the shop to pick me up. She realised she'd met Maggie before. Don't go. Dad!
What the hell are you trying to do?
What's Tracy said?
What do you think she said? She said what you wanted her to say.
Now, hang
What's
on
the
a
matter with
minute.
you? I think you must be really quite disturbed to stir up vicious rumours like that,
Look,
via
Ken,
Tracy.
you'd better stop this or else I'm off back through that door. She'd already figured something was wrong. I told her so she wouldn't start inventing the rest, hoping she'd realise how important it was she kept her mouth shut, which obviously did me a lot of good. Look, I'm sorry, Ken. They're not vicious rumours. Mark Redman is Mike Baldwin's son. Yeah, you would have found out anyway if you and Maggie were as close as you seem.
Does that bother you, Deirdre? I mean, you've known all this some time. I wonder if you've savoured the moment. I mean, why now? Why now? Just when Maggie and I are starting to make a go of it.
Jealous? Of you and Maggie? Oh, come on.
You could have told me quietly. You could have taken me aside and warned me.
Listen, Ken, I wouldn't have told you at all because it's got absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't like this any more than you do. But it's the truth. And it has a bad habit of coming out.
Oh, yeah? So what else has Tracy heard about Mike Baldwin's adventure?
Oh, that's
Oh,
it.
no. For a woman so keen on the truth, you've been very economical with it. Haven't you, Deirdre?
Does Mark know?
What?
From Tracy. Has Tracy said anything?
Oh, what do I know?
Oh, God. You'll have to make them promise, Ken.
To be very honest with you, Maggie, I'm in no frame of mind to do you any favours right now. I mean, how could you? We've come this far. How could you?
Ken, I'm sorry, but I don't actually see that my past's got anything to do with you. I mean, I haven't interrogated you about Deirdre. I haven't rooted around looking for Wendy Crozier's personal profile. When Mark was born, I was a single parent. Mike offered me a way out. He wanted to marry me with all the comforts. But I said no. I didn't want him, and I didn't trust him. I'd known Harry a long time, and he took the pair of us on, and he gave us a decent life. I pushed the name Baldwin to the back, and I half pretended that he'd disappeared.
There have been so many times since Harry died when I've wanted to tell Mark. But Mike wasn't his father. It was Harry who brought him up. Harry who made him into the kid he is. You have to respect that much effort, Ken. You mustn't tell Mark.
I've no intentions.
Thanks.
Look, I'm sorry, all the melodrama, bringing you out of work, but you can't imagine how difficult this is for me, Maggie. Mike Baldwin is not just somebody I don't like. About 10 years ago, he tried to take Deirdre away from me. What? 6 years ago, he married my daughter, Susan. Now, I've never believed for 1 minute he did that because he loved her. He did that because... But I hate him! I've wanted to kill him!
I'm sorry, Ken. I'd no idea. I'm so sorry.
But the horrible thing about all this is I just don't know where it leaves us. I'm really not sure I can go on, Maggie.
He means everything to me.
Do you know how that feels? Someone means everything to you, and I've never heard of him. I mean, what kind of marriage is this?
Alma. It was 11 years ago. His mother wanted nothing to do with me. It's past. Now, can you get that into your head? It's past.
Right, just get that into your thick head, Alma. I've got a son. He is the most important thing in my life, but it's past.
I'm talking about his mother. It's past.
No.
Yes, Maggie, it's past. And I said nothing about thick head. That was you.
I mean, why do I have to live like this? I mean, why does every other woman I know have some kind of marriage? Why is it only me that can't trust that come the end of the year I shall still have a husband?
Oh, Alma.
You're going to leave me, aren't you? It's Christmas and you're going to leave me just like you do every Christmas. You'll take up with Maggie and you'll move in with her and Mark and I will move back to the cafe just like I do every Christmas. But this time it'll be the end because you can't do that to me again. I just can't take it. I'd rather kill myself.
You're hysterical.
Yes, I am. I am bloody hysterical because you've got a son. You're a father. You've got a son, and it is just round the corner, and his mother lives just round the corner, and you have always wanted a family.
This is ludicrous.
And I haven't got a family. I'm not even sure if I've still got a husband, and I'll never have a son, ever, ever, will I?
Alma.
Well, will I?
Look, now, look.
No, Alma, you will never have a son, or a daughter come to that, because you're too old.
Merry Christmas. I have a parcel from Master.
Why are you wearing that stupid hat? And why are you wearing it here?
Who is it?
Oh, nothing. Somebody's just knocked at the wrong door.
Was that...
Mike Baldwin. I'm not sure he didn't have a present for somebody. But all the same, I suggested he wasn't welcome.
Thank you. That was absolutely right.
Who was that? Who was that man?
Nobody. We've nothing to say to each other. I told you that a long time ago.
A lot of things have happened since then, sweetheart. Harry's kicked the bucket for a start.
As sensitive as ever, I see. And don't call me sweetheart. Look, I'm tired. I really don't need
listen
this.
a minute, just a minute. There's still the boy, our son.
My son? You've no claim on him. You agreed that when he was born.
I never gave up any claim on him. I just promised to keep out the way till he was 18, that's all.
Fine, you've got another 7 years to wait.
Yeah, exactly my point. He's 11 years old. Lad that age needs a father, like me.
You're the last person Mark needs.
Well, if you've got any thoughts of Barlow filling that role, let me tell you something, sweetheart. There's only one reason that slimy toad's hanging around. It's nothing to do with your pretty face. It's me he's trying to get at. If you weren't my child's mother, he wouldn't look at you twice.
Who told you, Mark? Was it him? Was it Mike Baldwin?
No.
Well, who was it then? Who told you, Mark? Who told you?
Tracy.
Tracy?
She said her mum told her. And him.
I
didn't tell her. I told her she was lying. My dad's dead. My dad is dead.
Mark.
She's lying, isn't she? Isn't she? She's lying.
Oh, God. Mark, no, I'm sorry. She isn't.
She is lying.
Look, Mark, just let me explain.
You're lying. My dad's dead. He's dead.
Mark. You keep out of it, Ken. You've done enough damage already. Mark.
You're lying.
Mark. Mark. Look what your damn family's done.
Oh, my mum's out. She's still at work.
It's not your mum I came to see, it's you. And I think you know why.
No.
Don't give me the fake innocence, Tracy.
I suppose this is about Mark.
Of course it is. Have you any idea of the damage you've done to him?
Well, I only told him the truth, and I just thought...
You have no right to go around playing games. He's devastated. His world's in pieces. He doesn't know where he is anymore.
Well, I'm sorry he's upset. I could tell he was upset. But he had to find out sometime. He's upset because you didn't tell him.
I happen to be his mother. I'll decide what he ought to be told and when.
But he's got a right to know who his father is. Everybody has. They're entitled to know who they are and where they come from. And he thought he hadn't got a father because you never told him. And he had all the time.
You don't know the first thing about this situation.
I know that people are entitled to the truth about who they are.
It's your mother's fault, I suppose, for telling you about Mark in the first place. Still, she never had much sense. If she had, she wouldn't have given Baldwin the time of day.
Just because you don't like Mike Baldwin. What do you mean about my mum?
Well, you're so righteous about everybody knowing what's what. I have very good reason for keeping Mike Baldwin away from Mark. You ask your mother, she knows all about Mike Baldwin.
What do you mean?
Well, she had an affair with him, that's why. You ever wonder why your father hated him so much? Well, now you know. Well, you were the one who insisted on the truth being told. I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have told you. Anyway, now you know. It hurts, doesn't it?